Hello and good morning. Parikshit, who's organizing this series of sessions on deep learning and AI, requested that if I could put together a short video explaining why this session, how it's going to help the audience, and how is it really different from the so many that you find on the internet anyways. So first and foremost, let me just tell you what's really happening in this space. There are two broad waves of innovation. The first one, which is primarily being driven by a lot of research organizations as well as by the Amazons, Baidus, Googles of the world, is happening on specifically the architectures or the algorithms that are powering machine learning, especially deep learning these days. And the primary focus at the cutting edge is really on how you can create generalizable algorithms rather than ones which are very focused on a specific application. That said, there is innovation happening on the specialized ones as well, and they're getting better and better over time, far exceeding what we call as human level performance. So this is one big wave of innovation. The second one is happening on the systems that power AI. So there I would give you examples of Google's tensor processing units, XNOR.ai's FPGAs and so on, which are specifically custom built chipsets, infrastructure, whatever you want to call it, to run these algorithms or machine learning models more efficiently. So these are the two big waves that are happening, and as a business leader, I would say it's pretty challenging to be tracking both of these. It's almost impossible unless you have infinite time and resources to keep track of and even experiment with some of these things. But it's important at the same time that we keep the broad vision of what's happening and adopt what I typically call as optimal ignorance approach to this space. Now, having said that, why is this kind of a course, maybe just a 4-hour course, useful for a business leader? So let me give you an example. A year and a half ago, one of my batchmates called me and said, "Hey, I got this project from a client. Now, how do I budget for it? How much time, how much money, how much effort is it going to take?" And while I tried explaining it to him over a couple of calls, I realized that the fundamental gap is that my friend and his team probably did not have a full understanding of the life cycle of an AI project. And therefore, I felt that some of the expectations that were set with the client were also probably not very realistic. So this is where I want to use this session as an opportunity to explain to you the basic mechanics of how deep learning works, eliminate a lot of the jargon, simplify it. It's rather simple if you know basic 3, 4, 5 concepts, and work with a sort of mental model by which you can tackle this problem. And therefore it's also important that the expectations are set right. We usually set certain benchmarks of achievement, and so it's important that you have an understanding of how that process works, and therefore be able to set realistic goals for your project. So that's the whole idea, that in these 3-4 hours that you spend with me, I walk you through the mechanics, the basic steps involved in these systems, try to simplify the whole space of what we call very loosely as machine learning or artificial intelligence, and focus on what's really possible with these systems today. And if you were to do something like that, what kind of teams you need, what kind of skill sets are required, what kind of infrastructure is required, and possibly help you arrive at some form of estimate that you can go back to your clients with. So it's a highly management centric session, while I would keep a lot of the technical flavor intact during this session as well. And I hope to do that with a few exercises where I would like you to participate. Thank you, and look forward to seeing some of you for my session. Thank you so much.